If you won't teach your children, there are lots of instructors that are willing to stand in your place. And the problem with that is you don't get any say in what they're teaching them. There is an absolute crisis that is going on in America today. And one of the problems is that today's culture has minimized and devalued the importance of fathers. Everywhere that you look, as a matter of fact, you watch a lot of the television shows that are on today, and they make the father the brunt of the joke. Either he's completely absent and not there at all, or if he is there, he's the point of their jokes. They have worked to minimize and to devalue his role in the family. And we know that this is an attack from Satan. Satan knows that it was God's plan that the man, the husband, the father should be the leader of the home. And so Satan attacks that, and he's actively engaged in that today. But a few statistics that I learned is, one of them is that 1 in 4 children will go to sleep tonight. 1 in 4, that's 25% of our kids in this land today, will go to sleep tonight without an active father in their home. That's a horrible number. 1 in 4 kids will lay down at sleep tonight not knowing anything about whether their father is involved or active or caring about their lives. Another thing I learned is that the strongest predictor of a child's future, whether that child will end up in poverty, if that child will be addicted to drugs, if they'll be imprisoned, or if they become pregnant, or if they impregnate somebody else before marriage, one of the strongest indicators of that is if they do not have an active or an engaged father in the home. In other words, when the father is inactive or not engaged or not even present, then the likelihood that those things will happen in the life of that child skyrocket. And this is what just research tells us. This is what's happening in our land today. And with such an important role to play, then understanding these things, how can a father know what his functions are? And how can we fulfill the role in our families? And the answer to that, dear friend, is like all other things, we look at the scriptures and see what God has said, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're to teach them His ways. The Bible says when they're walking, He said, teach them diligently and talk with them when they're sitting in the house and when they're walking in the way and when they lie down and when they rise up. All the time, we are called to teach them in every situation in life. And you know that life is absolutely full of teaching moments and teaching opportunities. If you will pay attention and if you have a desire to be the godly leader that He has made you in your home, then you will find opportunities to just take a few minutes and stop in any given situation and talk to your children about what has just happened and teach them. And you know what I found? If you won't teach your children, there are lots of instructors that are willing to stand in your place. And the problem with that is you don't get any say in what they're teaching them. I read this quote that the health of a family depends primarily on having an effective father. Father, if you want to have an effective family, then it begins with you. It's your responsibility and nobody else's. Chip Ingram said this in his book. He said, knowing how vital fathers are is one thing. Knowing how to be a good one is another. But the good news is that God has not been silent upon these things. As He always does, He's given us instruction and wisdom in His Word about the functions of a father. The Lord teaches us that fathers are to be strong leaders, that they are to be godly priests, that they're to be active teachers, that they're to be loving dads, committed husbands, and also reliant believers. And we need to be all of those things because our children and our families and our country are depending upon it.